Hey guys, I am Lana. This is from Corporate Crystals. We're back for another video. In this video, we're going to talk about my experiences with black magic. But just to start straight out the gate, I don't have like tips. I've never done black magic that I'm aware of, so I'm not promoting it. And I also like can't help you do it. I'm not interested in helping you do it. I don't have tips. What I'm actually going to be talking about is my experiences being attacked by black magic. Okay. So we'll just start there. I didn't even know magic was real. I think you guys are probably picking up a trend here. I was quite ignorant. I knew nothing about spirituality. I knew nothing about religion. I didn't think magic was real. I loved Harry Potter. Thought it was like a fantasy land. I was like, oh wow, how crazy, how wild. But yeah, I literally didn't know black magic was real, let alone magic in general. My life was not very magical, unfortunately. In culture, there's a popular like understanding that Satanism rolls into black magic, but there is a level of like black magic that does not always involve Satanism. So just to kind of like differentiate. But a lot of this umbrella ties into witchcraft as well. Okay. Now, witchcraft is a completely different video. But at the same time, when you're talking about witchcraft, you're talking about kind of like ritualistic, magical, supernatural work, right? And again, you can do that in white magic or black magic. So, history. Robert M. Place's 2009 book called Magic and Alchemy describes the origins of black magic as being like its counterpart, white magic, traced to the primitive ritualistic worship of spirits. Unlike white magic, which parallels with primitive shamanistic efforts to achieve closeness with spiritual beings, the rituals that developed into modern black magic were designed to evoke those same spirits to produce beneficial outcomes for the practitioner. So when they say selfish, it's to benefit whoever's doing the black magic or to benefit someone who's paying for black magic, right? I'm like over here clueless. Thank God I'm protected because I had all sorts of people doing black magic on me for a really long time. And I had no idea. And I think that's the craziest part about this is there's a lot of people who are not spiritual, who are non-believers, who are just out there and they're 100% getting energetically attacked in a variety of different ways and they're not aware of it. They are not clearing their energy. Things are happening in their life that could be because they crossed the wrong person or someone just like didn't like them for whatever reason, right? But like something like voodoo, which can be used towards white magic or black magic, absolutely is like a real thing. So there is a deeper, darker part of black magic where these rituals, which can 100% be tied to Satanism, there is a very big world that a lot of you are already aware of where they do satanic ritual abuse of a variety of kinds. And it's very dark and it's very something I don't even want to talk about. But at the same time, it's very real and it's far larger than the average person is aware that exists. And God wanted me to have an understanding of this world, have an understanding of magic and the occult and the dark arts by being attacked myself. So I can feel and understand the impacts that magic has on someone's life and also to feel that it's very real. So in my last video, I was talking about how, of course, I'm into astrology, and astrology, I was unaware that it sat within the occult. I thought it was like a standalone study. I thought it was really cool and like kind of more close to like astronomy. But because I was curious and, a fan of astrology, I had people judging me and calling me demonic because the narrative is that astrology is demonic because it kind of sits in the dark arts of black magic, the occult world. And again, I've said this before, but even within the occult means hidden and concealed. Hidden and concealed does not mean dark. It does not mean black magic. Within the occult realm, there is light and darkness within it. So there is truth and there is like false light, right? But so I didn't know any of this. So all of a sudden, I'm just a person who's like going through a spiritual awakening, who happened to like astrology. I wear a lot of black just as like my actual style, if we call it a style. And so I like have tattoos, I wear all black, I like astrology, I like nature, and like I curse and stuff. So like I understand why people would call me a witch or think I'm a witch or think I do like black magic or something. Like literally no. But so all of a sudden I'm like at a really, really dark place on my path, which I've talked about in some videos. My energy is siphoned to such a level that I could barely move. I couldn't work. I could barely eat. Just the idea of leaving my house felt like a chore. And I couldn't understand like what was going on. I could not understand why I felt this way. I couldn't understand like, how am I in this bad of shape right now? Because I just know myself. Like I've been through some serious shit in my life, and this was not a representation. It was like unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. And like logically, I was able to understand like what was going on in my life, how to fix it, like why I'm heartbroken. I'm like logically understanding all this stuff, but the experiences I'm having in my life, they were not correlating to like my logical mind and also just like my heart. Like it was just the weirdest situation ever. And it's because I was in a low vibration. And so when you're in a low vibration because of heartbreak and whatever else, you can 100% have people attaching black magic to you when you are in a low vibration. And our collective, a big chunk of them are in low vibrations. So a big chunk of them have no clue that magic is something that can 100% be attached to their energy field. And I experienced it. Like there's very few times in my life where I've had suicidal thoughts and been in a position mentally where that's where I'm at. And I want to be very clear, like I'm not shaming anyone who's been there because I've been there. But this was different. My energy, I could feel the siphoning of my energy. And I thought it was my twin. I thought like that's what was causing it. And that turned out not to be true. So Jesus came to me. I talked about this in another video too. And I'm like, wow, no one will ever believe me, like I'm just sitting in my living room, like in terrible shape, terrible mental, spiritual, emotional, and probably physical shape, like not good. And I was having thoughts like, what is the point? Like, why would I ever want to stay on this planet? I remember like calling my mom and I was yelling at her for bringing me onto the planet. Like, it was not good. We were not in the best shape over here. And it's very, very unusual behavior for me. Unusual thought processes. Like I was in a place I had never been before. And I didn't know how to get myself out of this. But how do you get yourself out of this when you don't even have the energy to move? You don't have the energy to work out. You don't have the energy to feed yourself. Like my energy felt like it was being siphoned to elsewhere. And it was just pulling me deeper and deeper. And then Jesus comes and he just helped heal me. And I remember Jesus being with me for about a week energetically. And that's where like my relationship with Jesus started. And I realized he's one of my spirit guides. And I was like, holy crap, like this is a lot, like, does this mean Christianity is the truth? And I had to go through like a big long journey there too. But literally Jesus came to me and told me that I had magic being done on me. And I was like, magic is real? Like, what? And so I like was very, very confused. And so onward I went, and Jesus really helped like energetically get me into a place where I could get myself back up, which, thank Jesus. That was a wild place. And so as I moved forward, I started feeling energy manipulation and understanding what it was. I started being able to understand what was going on with my energy field versus when I was being attacked energetically. That siphoning of energy, I was able to eliminate it essentially. So I had to go through a process of basically training, and it's like I was being attacked, and then I was learning how to combat it, which was actually quite the journey. So a lot of people are sitting there thinking I had no job, and meanwhile I'm literally trying to get my life together as I energetically fight off black magic that is being done to me. It sounds fake, but it's very real. And so it was like an all day, every day experience for a little bit there. And then I got to an energetic place where it wasn't impacting me anymore. And I was like, thank God, like that is just like not the vibe. But for a while, until I hit a specific part on my ascension path, like it was absolutely impacting me still. And God allowed that to happen so I could feel it, so I could experience it, and so I could learn how to like break out of it, basically. Which I guess I'm grateful for the lessons, but like I could have done without. It was dark. It was dark. And I wasn't sure if I was not sure if I was going to make it out. And I had all sorts of like bad stuff happening all around me. So it wasn't just about me and my energy. It's like I'm having terrible thoughts and terrible emotions. I'm in like the lowest vibration ever of not even wanting to be here on the planet anymore. And then I have no energy. I'm having my energy siphoned to God knows where. I'm sure someone watching my channel knows. And I'm literally at the same time having situations in my reality where like this is breaking, and a massive tree branch in my front yard breaks off. I find a dead cat in my backyard. My front door, the security latch on it locks me in my house, and like 3 or 4 other things all in the same week, as I'm already not in a good place emotionally, spiritually, physically, etc. And so it was catching my attention. I'm just like, I felt trapped, and I wanted to like scream, but I'm strong as shit. So I was like, let's figure it out. So we figured it out, but it was very crazy. Chaos, confusion, and darkness. It just felt like, as someone who's like very grounded and I don't like drama and I try and keep things pretty simple, it was like out of my control. Chaos and confusion and darkness was just in my reality. And so I had to literally learn to like manage it and get myself back to a place where it was not impacting me anymore. And it was a bit of a journey. And if you guys have been through it, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm so grateful for all of my spiritual protection and my spiritual guides to help me get through that, because I didn't know it existed. So that was like a very intense part of my journey. But 100%, I have confirmation from Jesus that I have been getting spiritually attacked my entire life. And then at a very critical part of my journey, it was doubled down. It was quadrupled down. I was like being attacked from a variety of different places. And so that can be a really overwhelming thing when you don't even know it's real, which is why it's very important the collective understands that not only is this real, it's impacting people regularly. I know for me, not only were my relationships under attack, my mental health, my spiritual health, my finances, my home, basically anything, like everything was under attack. So I literally had to learn a lot, and I had to pay very close attention and build a really deep connection to my guides in order to help me learn how to navigate my way through it, because it was just really crazy to experience it. And like, I have a friend who, her ancestry, she has awareness of voodoo. It's not something that she herself practices or anything like that, but it was a part of the culture that she was like brought up in. So she had awareness of voodoo, and she had awareness of respecting voodoo, because there were stories that she had heard and experiences that she had had about black magic, specifically in the voodoo realm. So she knew it was very real. And I remember when I was like talking to her about the fact that I think I am being spiritually attacked by black magic, and I was describing it to her and stuff, like she was sharing some things with me, and I really like value and respect her opinion. And she's like, oh, it is very real. And as I was sharing it with her, she was kind of like validating me. She's like, this sounds very much like what your guides are telling you, from her experience. And so, yeah, it was pretty crazy to be attacked by black magic. I didn't realize I had like enemies, but yeah, it's very, very much real. You cross the wrong person for literally whatever reason, they don't like you. And if you're unaware that people can spiritually attack you in that way, then your life just starts falling apart and you don't know how to fix it potentially, right? And this is happening on our planet very regularly. And the energetics on our planet are getting to a place where they won't be able to do that anymore. The frequency, again, if you have ill intentions for people, with the new frequency on the planet, that's not going to end the way it used to end. So it's something that is going to be exposed, basically, for the whole collective to see. They need to understand how deep the satanic ritual abuse actually is, how prominent it is, how common black magic is, and how it can impact all of us. And those who are vulnerable and unprotected need this awareness. And, you know, they talk in Harry Potter about the dark arts and the dark arts, how to like protect yourself from it. These are all warnings to our culture. It's all like information guiding the culture to kind of have a better understanding of the reality that we live in. And it's not to promote fear. It's simply to like have a clear understanding of like, whether we all realize it or not, we are spiritual beings living a spiritual experience in human form, right? And our human form can kind of like have us being very material focused. So some of this stuff seems like our life is just happening to us. But there's all sorts of energetic factors that are happening in the subtle realms that are impacting our daily life. So the better we can understand it all, the better we can live and like, you know, accomplish our purpose, which is like what we're all here to do, you know? So I wanted to talk about black magic. Definitely was not an experience that I would ever wish on my worst enemy. I also feel really bad because any of the people who were doing black magic on me, like I didn't have to do anything because I didn't even know it existed, and my guides were handling it. My ancestors were handling it. So anyone that does magic on someone who's protected, it just basically, the energy has to go somewhere. And so it literally returns back to whoever intended it, because if you have a divine being who's protected and you're doing black magic on them, the energy has to go somewhere, and it's not going to penetrate a divine being's aura. So the energy cannot be destroyed. So it simply is redirected naturally. There's no magic needed to redirect it. It just is done. So a lot of individuals who did magic against divine beings of whatever kind, they're about to like learn the hard way that we're in a completely different time now. So it's really sad that people feel that this is appropriate. They risk their entire lives doing this, and you mess with the wrong one and your entire life gets destroyed. But the reality is that's your karma, because you shouldn't have been harming others. That's why it's considered evil and black for black magic, because your intentions are negative. Your intentions are to harm another individual Your intentions are to steal from another individual. Your intention is to siphon energy from another individual for your own gain. So energy harvesting, energy siphoning, all this black magic crap that people do, it has negative intentions directed towards other people, or at the very least it has no intention towards the other person other than to steal or harvest or siphon off of them for their own personal gain, whether it be a practitioner or the customer who purchases from like a dark witch practitioner. People do root work and all sorts of other dark stuff in order to get ahead in life because they don't want to do the hard work spiritually to get ahead in life through God, through their divine path. Instead, they would prefer to steal and manipulate, you know, in all the realms, 3D into the spiritual realms, to get what they want. And it's really sad, but it is very, very real. So that was my experience with black magic so far. And yeah, can't wait to never experience that ever again. And yeah, we'll leave it there. See you guys on the next one. Bye!